My name is Layla, and I am 21 years old. I was born and raised in a traditional Muslim family where family honor and parents' decisions were considered more important than a daughter's happiness. Since childhood, I dreamed of falling in love. I wanted to meet someone who would understand me, who would touch my heart before touching my body, who would make me feel alive. But life had different plans for me. When I finished my studies, my parents told me, "Layla, you are engaged to your cousin. The wedding will take place next month." I was shocked. Nobody asked me if I was ready. Nobody asked if I even liked him. All they said was, "This is our decision. It is for the family's respect." On the wedding day, everyone was smiling, except me. I wore the red dress, the jewelry, the makeup. People congratulated me, saying, "Mashallah, what a beautiful bride." But inside, I felt empty, like a bird trapped in a golden cage. And then came the first night of my marriage. The room was decorated with flowers, candles, and perfumes. Everyone outside was teasing, laughing, waiting for us to begin our new life. But when the door closed, silence filled the air. I sat on the bed, my heart beating fast, my hands shivering. I was nervous, but also curious. Would it be like the stories I had heard from friends? Would it be romantic, full of love and passion? But nothing like that happened. My husband entered the room, looking more tired than excited. He didn't smile. He didn't say anything sweet. He just sat on the chair, scrolling through his phone. Minutes passed. My body was burning with nervous energy. I wanted him to come closer, to talk, to at least hold my hand. But instead, he finally stood up, turned off the light, and lay down beside me, without a single word, without even looking at me. I felt frozen. The night that people call the most special in life was the most boring and painful for me. There were no emotions, no kisses, no love, only silence. We both turned away from each other, too shy, too distant, too disconnected. I cried quietly under the blanket. That was the first time I realized marriage without love feels like a punishment. The next morning, relatives teased us again, asking, "So how was the night?" I forced a smile, but deep inside, my heart was broken. Days passed. Instead of getting closer, we remained strangers living in the same room. Sometimes he touched me, but only like a duty, never with feelings. I felt like an object, not a wife. My body was there, but my soul was missing. I started to notice small things. When I tried to talk about dreams, books, or love, he ignored me. When I asked for affection, he became cold. When I looked into his eyes, I saw no desire, no passion, only indifference. I felt trapped between physical closeness without emotions and emotional distance without love. That is the cruel reality of many arranged marriages. One night, I gathered courage and asked him, "Do you even love me?" He laughed and said, Love will come later. Right now, just do your duty as a wife." His words cut through me like a knife. Was I only a body to him? Was marriage just about duties, not about feelings? That night, I couldn't stop thinking. My body was lying next to his, but my mind was far away, dreaming of a world where love and respect come before marriage, not after. Slowly, I began to understand. Many arranged marriages look perfect from the outside. Big weddings, happy families, expensive clothes, but inside the bedroom there is silence, boredom, or even pain. Nobody talks about it because society teaches us to stay quiet. But I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I promised myself that if I ever share my story, I will tell the truth. The truth that the first night of a forced marriage is not romantic. It is heavy, awkward, and often heartbreaking. The truth that a girl's heart is not a toy to be given away without asking her. The truth that without love, marriage becomes a prison. And this was just the beginning of my journey, the beginning of my painful discovery about the dark truth of arranged marriages. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. My marriage felt like a long tunnel with no light at the end. My husband and I barely talked. When we did, it was about food, money, or family matters. There were no sweet words, no laughter, no passion. Nights were worse. Sometimes he touched me, but it felt empty, like he was fulfilling a responsibility, not expressing love. I used to lie awake, staring at the ceiling, asking myself, is this all? Is this what marriage means? Just a body without a soul? The truth was hard to accept. I had no choice when my parents fixed this marriage. And now, I had no choice in how I was treated as a wife. My heart screamed for affection, but my lips stayed silent. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I asked him again, my voice shaking, "Why don't you talk to me? Why don't you try to love me?" He sighed heavily and replied, "Layla, I didn't want this marriage either. Our families forced us. We are just living what they decided. Don't expect love. It may never come." His words broke me completely. Tears rolled down my face, but I didn't let him see. I turned my face to the wall and cried quietly. That night, I realized I wasn't only unloved, I was unwanted. From that day, my life became a routine. Wake up, cook, clean, pretend to smile in front of relatives, and sleep next to a man who was close to my body, but far from my heart. But inside me, a fire was burning. I began to think about all the girls like me. How many brides wear heavy dresses, smiling outside while dying inside? How many are forced to share a bed with a stranger in the name of family honor? How many live in silence because society doesn't want to hear the truth? The dark truth is that many arranged marriages are not about love. They are about control, tradition, and family pride. And the first night, which should be filled with care, comfort, and connection, often becomes the beginning of emotional abuse. One evening, when I was helping my mother-in-law in the kitchen, she said something that cut my heart. She smiled and whispered, "So, how is he at night? Is he good to you?" I wanted to scream the truth. No, there is nothing good, nothing special, nothing romantic. But instead, I just nodded and forced a smile. Because in our culture, you are not supposed to complain. You are supposed to accept. But inside, I knew acceptance was slowly killing me. Time passed, and the distance between us grew larger. I started avoiding him. Sometimes when he reached out, I pulled away. I didn't want to be touched like an object. I wanted love, not just physical closeness. I began to write in my diary. Every night when he slept, I poured my pain into words. I feel like a shadow in my own life. Marriage without love is worse than loneliness. I am a prisoner in a golden cage. Writing became my secret escape. One day, while reading a book, I came across a line that stayed with me. Love cannot be forced. It must grow like a flower. That was the truth I wanted to scream to the world. Love marriages may not always be perfect, but at least they begin with choice, with feelings, with hearts that say yes freely. Arranged marriages without consent may look good to families, but inside they can destroy two souls. The first night of my marriage was proof of that. It was not a fairy tale, not a dream come true. It was silence, awkwardness, and emptiness. It was the night I realized that love cannot be ordered by parents or society. Now, whenever I look back, I don't remember flowers or candles. I don't remember laughter or romance. I only remember the heavy silence between two strangers forced to share a bed. And that is the dark truth of arranged marriages. My message to everyone: marriage is not about duty, control, or family pressure. It is about love, respect, and choice. Without these, the first night becomes the beginning of lifelong pain. So, if you are a parent, please listen to your children. Let them choose. If you are a young person, don't stay silent. Speak for your happiness. Because a marriage without love may look strong from the outside, but inside it is only emptiness.